Testing speaker mic, speaker mic. Lectern. Choir, choir. Testing captions.
Good morning. I want to welcome everybody to First Parish in Brookline, a Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Kay. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the Religious Exploration Coordinator here. Our service this morning will be led by our interim minister, Reverend Joe Cherry. Whether this is your first time here or whether you've been coming for decades, you are welcome here. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, however you identify, you are welcome here. And if you're participating from home this morning, welcome. We are so glad to have you with us. If you're new, we extend a special welcome to you this morning. Please come say hello after the service. Everyone here is extremely friendly. We would love to meet you. And immediately following our service today, everyone is invited to our social hour here in Peterson Room. The insert in your order of service has a calendar of upcoming events, along with some other information we hope you'll find useful. In addition, Reverend Joe has an announcement this morning.
I have a panicky announcement. In the order of service, in the insert, on the back page is a very cute little icon of soup where I'm asking people to volunteer to bring soup for March 1st. Fred said to me today, "How many soups do you have?" And I said, "None." Great, so email me please. We need like 10 soups or poor Fred and Deba, that's two, are gonna end up like renting a U-Haul for soup. So please help out, and the more variety, the better. We'll be having the soup we're making during the service is going to be vegan stone soup. So feel free to go bananas. Like a soup from your culture, from your heritage, from your family. Really, the more variety, the better. All right, thanks.
Once again, welcome one and all to First Parish this morning. It is a blessing to be together.
Also, thanks for the sticker, whoever put it up here. It's very cute. It's a clarinet sticker. So I'm assuming it's for me. As we come into our time of worship today, we arrive carrying many voices. Some of them are well practiced, some still tentative. Some have learned how to speak up, some are still learning when it's safe to do so. Worship begins not with speaking, but with attention, with the simple, generous act of listening. When we offer our careful presence, we say to one another, "Your story matters. Your voice has weight. Your experience is worthy of being held. May this hour be a place where voices are neither rushed nor judged, but received. May we listen deeply, and in doing so, practice the old work of honoring what is sacred in one another." Please come together, rising in body and spirit as able, to sing hymn 128 in the gray hymnal or the screen, "For All That Is Our Life."
Now is the time in our service when we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith the world over. Please all join in reading our community's covenant found in your order of service, first in Spanish, then in English. Nos entregamos y nos comprometemos a caminar juntos como congregación, prometiendo con mucha fe cuidarnos mutuamente y deleitarnos en el amor que permanecerá entre nosotros. We give ourselves one unto another, covenanting to walk together as a congregation, promising faithfully to watch over one another and to delight for love to abide in our midst. Now I want to invite everyone today into our worship service. Today, we've asked 4 generations of speakers to answer the same question. At the age you are now, how do you embody resilience? Another way that we've said this is when things get hard, how do you keep going? I want to invite our first speakers, Lily and Maya, up to tell us a story about a hard thing that they did recently, jumping off a giant Olympic pool-sized diving board. Come on up.
Hello, my name is Maya, and we have invited you to listen to this wonderful story. Lily and Maya jump off the diving board. Okay, it all started. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Lily, and her friend was named Maya. And they were climbing up a huge diving board, and they were a little bit scared, so they watched people do a flip, and they watched somebody do a spin, and they watched somebody jump in backwards and forwards, and they spun around in the air, and they went tip-tap with their feet, and they also jumped up and dived in. And then finally, it was Lily and Maya's turn. Then Maya jumped in backwards, and Lily did a flip in the air. And then they both wanted to go again. The end.
Now I want to invite Liv Day up to tell us her story of resilience.
So throughout my 18 years, there's been a lot of resilience. I was adopted at a young age, and I was brought into a family when I was about 1. My parents had an unhealthy relationship, so I was kind of thrown into this new world, like right after I was born. And around, I would say, 2018, I have had surgeries from my epilepsy, and that was hard because I was in the hospital a lot, and it was very stressful. And it was just like a lot to deal with, and mostly how I got through that was singing and writing music, because that was one part of my life that I could express my feelings and how I felt and everything that I went through. And the last part of resilience is now being in senior year, and I am graduating in 3.5 months, I think. And it's like all of those years through high school, the stress of like finals, midterms, and everything, and college applications, and now I will be attending Dean College in the fall. So.
When I asked Keith that I wanted to play this Bach piece that I had been working on, and I had no idea that it would be for this particular service, and so I feel especially thankful to be among these great people who are telling their stories. The piece that I'm playing it is usually known as Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring, which is actually the name of the whole cantata that Bach wrote this from. But the piece that I'm playing, which probably many of you know, comes from a hymn that Bach was writing an arrangement to go, and pardon my German, but Werde munter mein Gemüte. And in the translation of this, many things, but it actually comes out as be alert, my spirit. And I think that's much more appropriate to today, be alert, my spirit.
Now I want to invite Meryl Pecci up to tell us her story of resilience.
This is so much better. Thank you. All right. Mine might be a bit of a like preachy journal entry, so this is a test of resilience for you guys. I wasn't too sure how I was going to do this because I've gone through a lot of mental health battles in my life and kind of feeling it now and haven't felt particularly tough lately. I thought about it though. And I used to think resilience was a solitary word. I conflated it with strength, kind of like a wall. I thought it was your ability to power through and bounce back all on your own. I kind of pictured like a video game health bar and like I'm taking damage to my armor, but I get out and I heal myself in the nick of time. But as I reflected, I thought about why I'm getting up each day when I struggle to find optimism, which is something I think powers resilience. But I realized that resilience is not a solitary experience, and it really doesn't have to be. And maybe some of you are thinking like, duh, Meryl, but I do believe it is hard, especially in this age, to remember that we share a pool of resources, and that includes emotional resources. Resilience is about adaptability and the growth that comes from that. And maybe that growth is your own, but the process of moving through suffering, finding joy, and learning is shared by everyone. It is the human experience. I find that I'm resilient by listening, looking to elders who have been through heartbreak and loss, looking to children who remember to be excited about butterflies. It's very important. Showing up to gatherings, leaving my ego at the door, and literally just looking at how many people do care. And remembering I am parts of my parents, parts of their parents, the earth, space, stardust, ideas, literally like dirt. Sorry. Resilience is a part of me, that is a part of everything, that is yours, and that is mine. And I did always prefer multiplayer video games. If resilience is about bouncing back, as the dictionaries say, why shouldn't I look to my neighbors and take notes and ask how they do it? Or reflect on how we are both parts of a collective existence where love and beauty persists among hatred. I want to accept and seek the love that is true, and I recognize that for many, that is a tough search. Some people are genuinely lonely and punished for their resistance or struggling to feel resilient with the cards they've been dealt. And I'm certainly not up here just saying like, just find the love if the world is not loving you right now. But what I am saying is that I think resilience can and should be shared. And as I sort of find mine through coexistence, I will look to extend it to those who may feel they're losing in an individual battle of willpower. I think it is far easier to believe, grow, adapt, move, breathe, survive, and be human together.
This is the time in our service when we invite your generosity to help support the good work of this community of faith and hope. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Hi, everybody. Kiara Zani, she, her. I'm working with some members of the youth choir today. So they are going to sing a song from the Justice Choir Songbook. called Lead with Love. This is a song by Melanie DeMore, and Melanie DeMore, in writing the song, said she was inspired by movements that are propelled by love within the group and love within the group for each other, and not hatred or anger towards another group, but rather powered by the love together. This is a call and response song, and Peter will be leading the call, and Oliver will be leading the response.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Thank you, Peter and Oliver and everyone. I'm also doing the offertory words, so okay. The acceptance of the offertory. Hello again, Chiarazani She, Her. I'm a member of the parish board, and on behalf of the parish board and Reverend Joe, we thank you deeply for these gifts you have given us. These are, we take as symbols of your trust, and we will take that trust forward, and we honor that trust, and we will put it forward in our words and deeds. Thank you.
I would like to invite Laura Walters to tell us her story of resilience.
So you can tell I'm up here for the older generation because I forgot. It was today. So it's resilience just to be up here. It's not like I haven't been thinking about resilience constantly since 2016. And I thought about it a lot on Friday when I went to La Colaborativa to give out food. And I thought to myself, as we would say back in Brooklyn, I don't know from resilience. What do I have to be resilient about? Because when I give out food at La Colaborativa, those people know what resilience is. And somehow, I should be making them feel joy, but they make me feel joy because they're there online, smiling and laughing and dancing to the music, knowing that ICE is right around the corner and might get them on their way home. And every time I interact with an immigrant, I learn that same story. I know what resilience really is. And the best example of that I have is when I went to the border in 2019 to take in people who had been detained by ICE, and then they came to this sanctuary where I was a volunteer. And I heard the stories about what these people went through, and it was extraordinary. And the thing that was the most heartbreaking is we would pack backpacks for them when it was time for them to leave. And they would get $25, no matter how many people there were in their family, and one backpack of food, and a bus ticket. And you'd watch them go out the door with that backpack, putting one foot in front of the other with fear, but with also strength and with hope. And so in the mornings that are hard, when I can't get up and I wonder if anything I'm doing is worthwhile, I just close my eyes and I see those people walking out that door into the unknown, putting one foot in front of the other, and I ask them for just a little bit of their courage, a little bit of their strength, a little bit of their hope, and they never let me down.
So before I begin the homily that I wrote, just want to take a minute and appreciate the stories that we've heard today and how they are coming together, how your story led right into the song. Did you notice that? Wasn't that great? And how Laura picked up the theme from that and Liv's story. When Kay and I were working and Keith were working this service out, this isn't the direction I thought it was going to go in. And that's fantastic, frankly. I'm not complaining. But I'm a little more, I'm feeling it really in a way I wasn't expecting to feel it right now. And I wonder if you might also be feeling pretty big feelings about this. And so I wanted to create a little space for that, the big impact that I feel like has come today. We have just heard 5 stories. A little side trip for a second. One of the great things about being the minister is sometimes you get to see fun stuff. And earlier today, I encouraged Maya and Lily to practice, to give them a chance to handle the microphone in case they were nervous. People often are. And what I got to see was the script of their story, which was non-words. It was all drawing. And it was so amazing and adorable that I snapped a picture of it. And then I shared it on the Secret Minister's Facebook page so that everyone else can see how amazing they are. Wasn't that cool? Totally unplanned. So I loved that. That was great. And of course, Liv's story is hard. And I'm guessing other people have felt the way that Meryl has felt. Right? And Laura, what listening to your story made me think of was liberation theology. So, liberation theology started off as this idea in Catholic Latin America. And I've, lived with it for a while. And for me, I have explained it this way. I've been part of marginalized identity groups my whole life, right? And people have tried to erase me or pretend my voice doesn't matter, either from education or my body structure or my queerness or my Latinaness. And here's the thing that I've learned about liberation theology. If they can't break your spirit, they can't win. And so the dancing in hard places, it means something. It's an expression that says, you have not beaten us. And I hope that you understand you don't have to be Latino to have that experience. Each of us somewhere has someone trying to make us feel less than. And until they break your spirit, they have not won. So I want to thank you, Laura, for bringing that forward. Also, I know you won't like this, but for doing a lot of work that really inspires a lot of people to do a lot of work. I know you don't do it alone. I know that you're not excited about really being singled out for doing a lot of work, but you do, and I appreciate that. So we've had 5 testimonies of courage, diving board, making it through multiple player games, showing up. 5 accounts of using one's voice for justice, for care, for growth, and for change. Now, I already told you this didn't go where I thought it was going to go, so this sermon's going to be maybe a puzzle piece doesn't quite fit the same as everyone else's, but I know you'll bear with me. I'm grateful for every story shared. All the stories, not just today, but at coffee hour and in conversations with people, but especially today, including the music, the antiphonal music I love so much, the song the youth choir brought, I love that. I'll be singing it all the way home, by the way. Each voice we heard today matters. Each story names something real, and each reminds us that silence has never been neutral. So before I say anything else, let me say this. Thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your voice and your story. I also want to notice something else now that we've heard them all. I'm the last speaker this morning, and I am the only man who will speak today. Nobody planned it that way. It wasn't an agenda. Kay didn't you didn't, right? It wasn't part of your goal? Okay. And yet, here we are. And because this is a service about voice, it feels important to notice not only what has been said, but who has said it and who has not. Not an accusation, I want to be clear, not a complaint, but as a fact in a changing landscape. I have been in ministry for 19 years. long enough to have lived through a significant shift in who speaks with authority in religious spaces and how authority is received. Long enough to know that these changes were necessary, and long enough to know that they have not been simple. Because when power changes hands, the ground does not immediately become fair. It becomes unstable. And walking across it, especially if you're identified as a part of the former oppressor class, can feel less like progress and more like navigating a landmine, a minefield. So, hilariously enough, the rest of my sermon has disappeared. I'm not kidding. Exactly. So now I'm going to talk without a script. The thing is, it was a great sermon too. So I come to what I have written down and what I'm going to make up now with the following lens. I went to college and I minored in women's studies because I wanted to learn about feminism, not just from what I thought it was. I wanted to learn the tools of analysis. I wanted to learn who the thinkers were, how to really have that lens in my life. And I've carried it for my whole life, right? And the thing about being a male feminist is sometimes you're not welcome. I spent a lot of my time in college being accused of being an interloper, being told my voice didn't matter in this area because I'm part of the oppressor class, being yelled at, having a lot of people, a lot of women work out their anger over the men who oppress them at me. And ministry has been 19 more years of that in many, many ways. And I know that, and I'm not asking anyone to change. It's fine. I know, I think I know mostly when I've misstepped. And I know when things are projected on me and things originate from me, right? I have a very dear friend, another colleague, a woman who I was discussing something about a church, not this one. And she said, well, just go in there and tell them blah, 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 blah. And I said, I can't do that. And now she had been my student, and she said, well, why not? I said, because I have a male body. It's a different way of engaging it. In Unitarian Universalism, in many ways, we are an upside-down pyramid of power. I know that in the rest of the world, that's not how it is. I'm in a UU bubble, I know. But yeah, I used to live in the real world, in the other world. I see what happens. But here it's different. Here, I have to always know my place and know what the place of men used to be. And I have to figure out how to still lead from a religious place in a place where my voice is less welcomed because it is deeper. So part of my resilience is to keep showing up even when I'm frightened to say what I know needs to be said. Frightened because I'm sure that someone will think it's because of my gender I'm saying that. Someone who will think because of my gender I'm being clear because I want to dominate, not being clear because I want to help solve issues. It's difficult. Now, I'm going to guess if I were a different kind of minister, maybe in a different faith where whatever the minister said goes, might be different. But I'm not in that faith. I'm in our faith. And so, particularly now, as we're all looking at new ministries, you and I both, I just want to bring this up and let you know that the men who are ministers in our faith are doing something we've never been trained for. We were never trained to do things the way things are done. And we got to figure it out. You know, a couple years ago, remember when the movie Barbie came out? My husband bought a 3-piece Barbie pink suit. We couldn't both do it, so he did it, because that would be ridiculous. And there were 5 women named Barbara in his congregation, and one guy named Ken. So he had a great time with it and talked about what that was like. And he said the following thing, which I discovered when I took an owl training class in his building. There was no men's bathroom in his church. Every woman said, what? That's not true. No, there's a genderless bathroom and 3 women's bathrooms. Not a single woman ever noticed that. So this is what I want to say to the women. My friends, the women I've spent my whole life being much closer to than most of the men, and in the struggle with my whole life. As you are solidifying power, and rightfully so, please don't forget the lessons you learned on the way. Don't forget to listen to who's not being heard, because you've all lived the experience of not being heard. Don't forget that. Because we're working too. We're trying to figure it out. We're an unstable land. And your patience and your teaching can help all of us. So, be patient. Show grace. Find your allies who really are trying to help. Try to separate your past hurt from the man in front of you. And help us. Help us help the world. Oh, you okay, kid? So, the written sermon had a much better ending. This is what I have. I hope that you can take it in the spirit of humility and care in which I prepared to give it and have offered it to you. And know that as a class we're going to make mistakes. But I can only ask for forgiveness. Thank you. Let us come together to close our time together to sing Singing for Our Lives, number 170 in the Gray Hymnal, or up on the screen. Rising in body and spirit as you're able. And I say, sing loudly together. As Kay extinguishes our chalices, please join together in our unison affirmation in Spanish then English. Aprogamos este llamado. To the world. Resilience is hard work. Speaking truth to power can be exhausting and frightening, and sometimes involves real danger, but still it must be done. With bravery, with grace, with courage, let us leave this time together emboldened by the knowledge that we are never alone when we speak for justice. Resilience is hard work, so be gentle with yourself. Be kind when mistakes are made. Be generous when bumping up against allies in the work. Show grace to yourself and to those with whom you are trying to change the world. And as I say all the time, and I hope you really hear me, be good to yourself. Thank you.